Hi, Cancer, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your October 31st, 2020 full moon reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also to subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new videos, and I upload all the time, just hit the bell notification button. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be located in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let's clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from your body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as you enter into this safe and loving space. All right, let's let the bowl sing. As we move the Moonology and the Queen of the Moon cards over to the side, these will be layered on top of the tarot at the end of the tarot reading to really give Luna a voice of her own, to really let the moon speak for herself. So, Cancer, October 31st, 2020 full moon. How will Cancer be affected by the October 31st, 2020 full moon? How will Cancer be affected by the October 31st, 2020 full moon? How will Cancer be affected by the October 31st, 2020 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Awesome. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Fantastic. Now, I'm really excited about this full moon because a moon like this hasn't been seen in 19 years, which is pretty cool to say. So this is a full moon that is a blue moon. It is a full moon in Taurus, and it falls on Shamwin. It falls on Halloween, which is absolutely amazing. So the energy here is going to be so intense and so powerful and so beautiful. Now, on the left-hand side, this is the inner self, the personal self. In the middle, this is the emotional self, okay, the heart. And on the right-hand side, this is the public self in the public arena. So let's see what the cards have to say. We're starting off with the Page of Swords, air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Very strong pull to the full moon in Gemini, which is on the 30th of November. Then we have the Justice card coming in. So this is justice, but this is also discernment. This is being rather, I don't want to say critical because that sounds kind of negative, but it is being critical. It's almost, so Spirit is saying, so don't say critical, say having standards. Having standards of the energy that you let into your life during this time and the way that you move yourself forward, because this is justice for you. It moves you to really embracing the full moon in Taurus, because the guide here is the Hierophant in the Rider-Waite Smith deck. It is the full moon in Taurus, which represents the Taurus in the zodiac, in the major arcana. So here it's really embracing that energy, and it's moving you forward to a great change, Cancer, that is like, ready or not, here it comes. Here it comes. And it's being grounded in you, in your truth. Your heart is crowned by the 10 of Cups, and they all live happily ever after. And this is, I mean, whose heart doesn't aspire to, and they all live happily ever after, having joy, peace, prosperity, success come in. The 7 of Pentacles, be patient. The Knight of Pentacles, Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, very strong connection with the Taurus full moon, is coming forward, a defender of prosperity, of slowly and steadily moving forward in your wealth and in what you desire. And then the 6 of Pentacles, there's a need for balance. Okay, you have the Justice card in the major arcana right here. You have the minor arcana, Justice card, coming forward within the heart. Then we have, oh goodness, the Queen of Wands, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Right? This can be very strong for you, Cancers, who are on the cusp with Leo. There is just a sense of fierceness to you during this time. But that's true for every single one of you, Cancers, during this time. To be able to embrace this fierce determination, this fiery understanding, this passion, this knowledge, this insight. And then we have the 5 of Cups. As you do so, as you claim this passionate power, you change your mind and you change your life. And this leads you have this very grounding energy running through this whole entire thing of prosperity shining down, of bounty moving you forward, of letting the light that you have so carefully crafted. And this is, think of a stained glass window of that light shining in. Look at what that brilliance is moving you forward in, how it is coloring the way that you see the world, the way that you are led forward, the knowledge that is coming in, and it brings you to judgment. It brings you to a resurrection of your powers, a kind of breaking the box and moving forward in your passionate understanding, in your brilliant truth. And this is your angels and your spirit guides being right there with you, especially in the public arena. And during this time, with this full moon in Taurus and this blue moon, and also Samhain being this time of the veil being the thinnest between our world and the spirit world, there is this huge connection with your angels, with your ancestors, this resurrection of power and this grace that moves you forward. Because the full moon in Taurus is the most solid and sensual of all the moons. And that is going to be an energy that you really build off of. You build a solid foundation off of. And it's so very interesting because, this full moon comes during Mercury retrograde, right? So this solid, sensual, steady moon comes during a time of chaos. And it says here, your dreams need a practical plan. Your dreams need a practical plan as you're moving forward, because the blue moon here says, believe in the impossible. You're going to see that the impossible isn't as impossible as you thought it would be. And as you look at this, and as you're cultivating your patience, and you're building your power, and you're looking at what you desire, which is what the blue moon calls us to do, you're taking time to step back, to look at things more openly and more honestly for yourself. And during Samhain, during Halloween, you are releasing what no longer serves you in your life. And it's also causing you to face fears, to face hardships and difficult truths that make you question, that make you look at things more openly, more honestly. And that's why you're starting right here with the student card of the mind, with the Page of Swords. And as you do this, you are going to find that you are building a solid foundation for the change that you need within your life. But you're not in any hurry to really, it's kind of like you have this ready or not, here it comes energy. And it can go a little against the Taurian mentality of a slow and steady build. So there's something going to come at you rather fast that you may very well feel like, I'm just not ready for. I don't know how to move forward this way. I don't know if I even want to move forward this way. Questions and needing to really cultivate and embrace the answers that are coming to you. Because what you're looking at here is this time to cultivate and build a solid foundation for the dreams that you want to live. Because our dreams, especially if you've had a dream for a really long time, it becomes a sacred truth. It becomes something so beautiful that you don't want it corrupted by this world. You don't want it ripped apart by the anger and the ferocity and, the this and the that is going on, the chaos that we're living in right now. So, and that, even if everything changes, chaos is something that we human beings are very good at perpetuating within life and within existence. So part of your divine power and your surrendering to the divine and your power during this time, Cancer, is to be that charioteer of the heart, is to embrace your love, your passion, your desire, your truth, and to really move yourself forward in a beautiful, fierce, powerful way that says, this is me. And I'm not apologizing for me. I'm not, holding me back. But it's also not, kind of thrusting things, at people. It's like, it's be you powerfully, brilliantly, and radiantly, and let that speak for itself. And as you embrace that power during this full moon, all right, it moves you to really being able to embrace the new moon in Scorpio, which comes on the 15th, there we go, the 15th of November. And this is work through your fears. So as this moon comes forward, you see that you are working through your fears, you're working through your doubts, you are finding new beginnings coming your way, and you're really reflecting. This is going to be a rather meditative time for you. The water sign energy of this new moon really does call to you, and you're sitting there and you're thinking, all right, how do I move forward? Where is it that I want to be? And it can be that you're contemplating the last lunar cycle, instead of it shining a spotlight on everything, which is what the full moon does. This gives us a silence. And a lot of times, especially nowadays, we're not very comfortable with silence. We like to fill that silence with noise. And we like to fill that silence with distraction. This is going to be a time to really embrace that silence, to embrace the cultivation of what you want. And as you do so, you see yourself moving through that portal of change to power, to understanding, to a grace of self that has been and had been ignored from you for quite some time. It's kind of like, oh, well, I can't speak on that, or I don't know that, or, you've kind of taken yourself out of the argument, which, it's just rational to do during these times, but it's giving yourself the power to stand in your truth within you and saying, this is me. This is where I want to stand. This is who I need to be in my life to cultivate and to move forward in the power of myself. And as you do this, you are really going to be ready, Cancer, for the answers that come, because the next full moon on November 30th is the full moon in Gemini, and this says the answers you need are coming. And this is also a full moon eclipse, so conclusions are within reach. It's kind of like it amplifies the knowledge of the Gemini full moon, and you see that conclusions are within reach. Things are reaching ahead for better or for worse. In some situations, it's like it's reaching ahead, it's moving you forward, it's empowering you, it's emboldening you. And as you see the duality of situations, but also the duality of your life, you start to really, and it's really funny because for one day, we are still in October. And so here, Cancer, this has us embracing the duality of the spirit animals of October, which are the crow spirit and the dove spirit. Now, I love these spirit animals because they're so contrasting, right? You have the dove, the harbinger of peace. You have the crow, the harbinger of destruction and death. And so when you put these two together, you think, whoa, wait a minute. But that's really the energy that is surrounding you on Halloween. You are seeing that there is this turbulence of emotions. There is this chaos of truth that is around us. One is leading towards peace, and the other is leaning towards change. Well, actually, both are leading towards change. And the crow spirit, it brings forward change and sacred law. But it can be a change that we're a little bit opposed to. Because remember, a flock of crows is called a murder of crows, and who wants that? We also have this instinctual, repulsion from crows and from ravens. We don't sit there and think, oh my gosh, they're such, these beautiful, beautiful birds. Ravens are more intelligent than parrots are. And yet we sit there and, you can spend, $20,000 on a parrot? Like these big blue, I think they're called lapis parrots or something like that. And yet nobody sells ravens as pets, or not that I've seen. And so here, there is this sense of this duality of what is, but what looks good. And so on Halloween, on Samhain, you are going to be facing a truth. And it might not always be wrapped in the prettiest of packaging, but it is going to have the fiercest of understandings and the most brilliance to it. So just be mindful of that. This is also a time where the spirit world and our world is astoundingly thin. The veil between the spirit world and our world is astoundingly thin. And so ancestral knowledge is really going to be a part of you, a connecting with your spirit guides, with your angels, a resurrection of power, a moving towards the divine rises you from darkness to truth. And that is going to move you forward in a profoundly beautiful way. So with the crow spirit, it calls forward change. And yes, it grounds us in our sacred law. It moves us to trusting our personal integrity and really embracing our personal integrity, but also our intuition as we speak our truth. Our truth is going to be so important for us on Halloween. It's like, this is my truth, this is my passion, this is what I desire. It brings forward personal transformation, and it brings us messages that we might not be happy to hear, but that we need to hear. And then it moves us to the dove, which says, be peace. But as we are embracing and attempting to be peace in a world that is chaos, because life is chaos just in its very existence, it brings us messages of peace and of hopes, especially when our hearts are hurting, when we feel overwhelmed. And who isn't feeling overwhelmed right now? It is gentle compassion. It is a release from the pains that hold us back. And so that is amplified with the full moons and with all the energy that is around these full moons. So that is really quite beautiful and really quite extraordinary. And then it moves us to the spirit animals of November. And the spirit animals of November are the snake and the eel. And they're really quite beautiful, even though, we'll sit there and think, ooh, they're very, one's the snake of the sea, thank you very much type of deal. And snakes, we have this instinctual reaction towards snakes. There's even, they even say that our eyesight developed so well so that we could spot snakes in the grass, right? So here, as we look at the serpents, as we embrace our healing, because that's what the serpent says here, it's time to heal. And the electric eel spirit says, bring your ideas to life. So it's time to heal so that you can bring your ideas to life. But there's a complexity within the snake spirit, because think of a snake shedding its skin. This is a time of change. We see this within the progression of the moon, within the progression of the stars. This is a time of change for us. And so this is healing opportunities being brought forward. This is change for our hearts, for our souls, for ourselves. This is us shedding a skin. But as we shed an old skin, it makes us vulnerable. Think of a snake shedding their skin. I believe snakes, and I'm not 100% sure, but I believe snakes become blind when they shed their skin. All right, so it makes them very quick to snap. So as we're going through this transformation, we can become very quick to snap at people, at things. And so that's going to be important to know, especially since your energy so focuses around healing Cancer, that this is going to be doubly profound for you. As you embrace this change, there's an importance in transitions from, shedding the skin from who you were to who you will be. And as you embrace this transition, and as you go through this transition, there is an increase of energy. But there's also a sense here of the duality of the serpent within just our own minds. We have the healing staff of the serpent, right? On medicine, it is the staff with the two serpents on it. And that's called, and I believe I'm going to be pronouncing this correctly, I do apologize if I don't, the Asclepian is the staff of the healing. So we have the Asclepian staff, and then we have the tempting serpent that brought, forth the fall, in Judeo-Christian ideologies. So here we have these conflicting images, one of healing and one of falling. And what I'm really seeing with the serpent is that we heal as we fall. We heal as we change. We heal as we evolve, as we take on new knowledge, okay? And the safety of maybe the lies that we thought were truths, the safety in the security blankets that we have had fall away. And we see ourselves needing to move forward towards a newer, greater, more powerful, but also less naive, less, wide-eyed, maybe even a little bit less hopeful person than what we once were, and moving into a person more of power, more of discernment, more of, tenacity of spirit. And it brings us to the electric eel, which is embracing our emotions, moving forward in strength of self, and having foresight as we bring our ideas to life. This moves us to the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords is a student of the mind. The Page of Swords cuts through doubts and fears, embraces passion, looks at what they desire and says, why? How come? Think of a little kid who asks why with everything. That's kind of going to be the energy around you. Why? Why do I have to do this? Why do I have to go there? Why do I have to be like this? What's going on? This is going to be a time to kind of map things out, look at things openly and honestly for yourself and say, where is it that I want to be? How is it that I want to be? What is it that I hope to accomplish, that I desire to embrace? There's a flexibility of mind, a malleability of spirit. It's kind of like a forming, a shaping, a becoming. And think of it almost as smoke. When smoke rises from a chimney and you see it drift and form by the wind. Well, not even form, drift and split and, become something more by the wind. And that's what you're going to see here. There's a sense of needing to know, of needing to go deeper, of needing to understand more, of needing to cut through doubts and fears, of pushing the envelope, because you're building that solid foundation. And yet it's going to be one of the things that you really don't want to do, because with this full moon in Taurus, we don't like to be pushed out of our comfort zone. This is a time where we'd really like to, walk around in nice cozy slippers with a nice warm blanket around us and a nice cup of tea. Or if you're in the southern hemisphere, just walking around being comfortable, flip-flops, cool and relaxed. That's the energy that you want during this time. You don't want to be pushed. But there is something here, Cancer, that is most definitely pushing you for a greater realization, a greater understanding, and more of a discernment of mind. Oh my gosh. So when I just looked down here, I saw like this third eye, and I know it's too far up on her forehead, but it's like your third eye is opening as you embrace knowledge, as you embrace understanding. And it's like, oh my goodness, there's a truth that's coming that opens your deeper senses and moves you forward. And it moves you to justice. It moves you towards a balancing, towards a cutting through doubts and fears, towards a sense of embracing what you want and what you desire and where it is that you want to be. And you have two cards that here really signify justice to me. But it's not necessarily justice, because when I think of justice, it's like white page, black print. It's the letter of the law. It is something unmovable. And this is individual justice, which can be very fluid in ideas and understanding. It's kind of like how we evolve, how we become, how we gain an understanding. And so here, with justice, we are calling justice into our lives, but justice with compassion. Because Cancer, for you, everything needs to have compassion walking hand in hand with it. This is justice of compassion. This is justice of understanding. This is a depth of soul. This is a brilliance of self. This is being discerning. This is saying, I can't let every single bit of energy affect me. I can't let every single bit of knowledge, overwhelm me. I need to balance. I need to balance it with my truth, with my greater understanding, with my greater complexity of self and desire of soul. And as you do this, you balance your scales. And it's justice for you, is what we're talking about here. And as you do so, yes, this does embrace Libra energy, time frame of September 23rd to October 22nd. But it also embraces the ideas, the ideologies, the greater depth of understanding of the self as you move forward to where you want to be and where you hope to be and what it is that you desire and what it is that you're looking at. And as you do so, you are gaining this justice of self, but also a very strong pull to the Scorpio energy on the 15th of November that says, work through your fears, find the balance. Because as you do this, all right, as you have that energy calling you forward, and I feel it very strongly because this time frame is mostly in Scorpio. It does go into Sagittarius, but it lives for a good deal of time in that Scorpio energy. So I do say that for some reason here. And okay, that's why, because water sign calls to water sign. So it's going to call to you to have this justice, to have this understanding that is here. So just know that that's going to be very important to you. You're going to kind of be pulled very thin People are going to want you to do this, to do that, to go here, go there, type of thing. And it can just be with energy, because with the state of the world, going places isn't quite as easy as it once was. So it can't just be with energy. Everybody needs a little piece of you, or you feel like everything is shattered and you need to put it back together. You need to be balancing of soul, balancing of self, to be able to handle and to say no to people, to say, you know what, no, I just can't. I just can't. Let's step back. And that brings you to really embracing the guide, really embracing the Hierophant. During this time, this Taurus energy is astoundingly strong with you. Actually, this whole moon is a time that is really quite intense. This whole phase, it's like, wow. Because you're seeking answers, you're seeking more. And it doesn't mean that things will come like lightning bolts from heaven to strike you and you're like, oh, now I understand type of deal. This can be very subtle. This can be very small. But this is very impactful. Every single moment of our lives, every single, depth of our understanding is tremendously impactful. And so here, during this time especially, you're laying down a foundation. Your foundational self is going to be so important to you, meaning you have to be true to you. You have to be. Now, this could be that you have different ideologies than the people around you, or, than some people. And so there's a questioning, there's a going deeper, there's a looking at things more openly, more honestly for yourself. But it can also be that other people want you to see what they see, exactly how they see it. And you're like, no, this is my truth. And you move forward in it. Because this does enter in during Mercury retrograde, this is a time where you're really learning to keep things kind of to yourself, to ruminate on it, to discuss it, to embrace it, to be empowered by it, but then to move forward with your truth, with your passion, with your desires. And as you do so, you move forward in the truth that is you. And that's what this Taurian energy really does. It gives us a solid foundation to sensually and passionately be ourselves, to speak to that little child inside of us, our inner child, and say, I connect with you. I hold my arms open to you. I move forward as a defender of truth for us, as we build, as we discover, as we become. And it moves you to the Eight of Wands. It moves you to change. It's like ready or not, here it comes. And during this time, you're not really going to want change. You're going to sit there and be more than happy to have things be stable, be steady, be routine. And it's like, yeah, I'm good with this. But there's a change that's coming in. And it's moving you towards, it's a good change. This isn't anything bad. It's moving you towards what you need to have a happily ever after. What you need to have this joy, to have this bit of bliss within your life. Now, if we boil things down, all right, everybody kind of wants the same thing, all right? We are not really that inventive when it comes to the fundamentals of what we want from life. We want love, we want, prosperity, we want a bit of ease, those type of things. But how we go about, and how we envision that becoming part of our lives, that is different. And so here, with the 10 of Cups, it is moving your heart forward in the way that is right for your soul, right for yourself, that embraces your passion, your power, your brilliance, your depth of understanding. It's like, this is what I love. And so if you keep this card with you, if you keep the 10 of Cups with you, or you write, in the calendar, or like you write it on your phone, in the calendar, 10 of Cups, 10 of Cups, 10 of Cups, and you have it on an alarm to tell you to remember to move towards your happily ever after, move towards your bliss, or just move towards your bliss. What will make you happy? What will pull you out of the muck and the mire of the day, the chaotic routines that build up? And our days, like, what is it? There's an old Yiddish saying, the days are long, but the years are short. We embrace that, because that is absolutely true. We embrace our heart's truth. We embrace what we love. We can be pulled out of the chaos of the day to embrace a moment, to be more in tune with what we want and what we desire. And that moves us to the 7 of Pentacles, patience. Patience, because what we want, this beauty, this brilliance that is moving us forward, that is calling to our hearts, takes patience to come forward. Takes patience to be a part of us. Body, mind, and spirit, heart, prosperity, and soul. And so here, as you are embracing it, be patient, because you're going to want things to happen in your time. And in human time, it's yesterday. We are an impatient lot. We have X amount of heartbeats on this earth, and we want them all to be brilliant and happy and fun and just so overwhelmingly awesome that it's like, yes, best life ever. But here's the thing, nobody has a life like that. Even if they are the most privileged people in the world, they do not have a life like that. And that's hard to understand, because you would think, okay, if you have nothing to worry about, why would you worry? But people need purpose. People need direction. It's a huge part of who we are and how we've evolved and how we became these apex predators and how we went from hunter-gatherers to, to the people we are today. And so here, it's having patience with the prosperity that comes, having patience with what we are developing and cultivating within our lives, and knowing that it is not our time, but it is divine time that things come in. And it's not saying sit back and say, okay, divinity will take care of it. I don't have to do anything. No, it's working your tush off. It's having goals, it's having ideas and ideals, and it's going after it. But it's knowing that you're building this slowly and steadily. And as a water sign energy, you don't, okay, so when I say you don't move as quickly, it's when Spirit says you don't move as quickly, all right? You'll think, I just thought of a rushing river. You can move very quickly. You can. Very, very quickly when you need to. But there's also a sense of moving slowly, moving gently. It's kind of like when the water starts to dry up, or, when the rains haven't come. You can move very slowly. And that's why you're the second slowest moving knight. With the Knight of Pentacles, with it being the slowest moving knight, it's not so out of your comfort zone that you think, oh my gosh, I'm never going to get to where it is that I want to be. You're laying a solid foundation, but it takes time. Okay? You're looking at things and you're building something beautiful, but it takes time. And you might sit there and say, okay, Dane, I only have X amount of heartbeats, right? I only have X amount of time. It can't be taking this much time. Here's the thing, it can be. It can be, because we're moving towards something greater, guided by divinity. If we believe that, instead of life is just a series of chaotic random events and we have no power over anything and we never will, so why even bother? That's very nihilistic, and that's not good for us as human beings to just be that fatalistic within our thinking. So it's moving forward in steady truth of prosperity and building that slowly and steadily and getting frustrated with it, but still knowing that we're moving towards a greater goal, a greater power. And as we do so, what's so interesting is that you're crowned by cups, okay? So you're crowned by an energy you absolutely understand. And then you have the prosperity come forward, right? The earth sign energy, which to a greater extent, you absolutely do understand, because the water nourishes the earth. But as you grow, as you're developing, your heart is very focused on the earthly plane, which for water sign energies can just be too much at times. At times, more often than not, it can be too much. It can be too overwhelming. It can be like, oh my goodness, how do I get to where it is that I'm supposed to be? And there's a beauty here with the Six of Pentacles and saying, I need balance. I need balance. Everybody who has their hand out, I cannot. Everybody who demands, I cannot. I need balance. I need balance within my life. I need balance within my soul. I need balance within myself to move forward towards what is more, towards what is great, and what is greatness with me, for me, and by me. And so here, it's being thankful to those who build us up, who are around us, who build us up, yes. But it's also saying to everyone who is tearing at a piece of us and saying, I need this, I need this, I need this, I need this, or do this now, do this now, do this now. It's like, stop it. Stop. I need to be centered. And if I'm off center, then nothing gets done. And that's what you're saying within your heart for this earthly plane. It's like, if I'm off center, if I do not have the patience to move forward slowly, if I'm trying to do everything in everybody else's time, that it is not divinely guided for me, I'm going to fail. I'm going to fall. Because it's all going to be a humble jumble of chaos and negativity, and it's not going to move me to where I need to be. And that's going to be a place that is the energy that helps you live this happily ever after, that helps to bring you this prosperity, this abundance, this glory. It's like, stop and let me cultivate. Let me have patience. And it moves you to the Queen of Pentacles. In the public arena, You are not afraid to roll up your sleeves, get your hands dirty, embrace your passion, embrace your fire, embrace your connectivity to all that brings you joy. This is the reason for getting out of bed in the morning. Now, it doesn't have to bring you joy 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, but it's a sense of empowerment, a sense of a passionate understanding, a sense of profound truth. And that's what you're embracing. You're going to be much more comfortable during this time behind the scenes. You don't need to be center stage. You don't want to be center stage. You really don't. There is a silent, prosperous beauty to you. Now, in your inner self, you do have the Hierophant, who in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck is represented by the Pope, who was the King of Kings in the medieval times. So there is a sense here of, yes, you are seen. Yes, there is a powerful house of your energy coming forward. Yes, there is this tenacity, this fire to you that people take note of. But, you yourself are going to be more comfortable behind the scenes. But again, it's a fire sign energy behind the scenes. How can you hide fire? Still, when you have, a candle flickering behind a screen, you can still see it. And that's going to be the energy that is around you. It's like, it is noticeable to people. There's a fire, there's a determination, there's a sense of action, there's a sense of embracing passion. And as you do this, you are going to find out that you're changing your mind on what you're focusing on. Before, you were focusing on things that really brought you down, things that you couldn't really change, heartbreaks, pains, disappointments, angers, upsets, the more. Okay? It can also be worry. I mean, if you're like me, I can be a queen warrior and I have to stop myself. It's like, stop, focus, center. Okay? So here, with the Five of Cups, it's stop and center yourself. Stop and center yourself on what it is that you want. And you might be sitting there and say, but it's all falling down. It is all falling down. And our reaction as human beings, when things start to fall apart, it's to hold on even tighter, right? It's to fix it with force. And I love the nursery rhyme of Humpty Dumpty, right? Because it's all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. Well, why would they be able to? They're all people of force. There wasn't one healer, wasn't one doctor, wasn't one, craftsman called to put somebody back together again. How could you fix when you are using the wrong tools? How can you see the beauty when we're trained within our society to use the wrong tools? Instead of going into ourselves, instead of breathing, instead of embracing peace, instead of becoming calm, instead of focusing and centering, we charge at it with force. And this is saying to stop. And to see the Two of Cups that stands behind us. To see the Minor Arcana Lover's card. To see the healing love that guides us forward. That embraces the healing energy of the serpent, of the Eclipse, that gives us this balance, that gives us this healing. And it moves us to seeing the prosperity that we've created, that we've cultivated, that we desire. Having that light shine upon us, moving us forward. This is the Three of Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles is our hard work, our cultivation, our creation, our passion, our power coming forward. Do other people try to take, claim of it? Yeah, of course they do. People want things that are easy. And if you're doing well, and if they sit there and was like, oh, well, I totally was responsible for that. It's like, no, I was. I'm the one who put in the hard work, the time, the effort, the patience, the determination. I'm the one who is casting this light upon me, who is bringing this knowledge, this prosperity, who is planting the seeds of my success. And that brings you to a resurrection of power, to a resurrection of self. And this is internal power. This is a rising. This is a rising towards what you desire. This is a rising towards passion, towards grace, towards, towards fire of being. This is a breaking out of the box. Not being like everybody else. And kind of being okay with it. This is your angels and your spirit guides being right there with you. And this is you being deeply connected to them and your ancestral knowledge. Okay? The voices from the past that move you forward. From those who have passed that move you forward in your truth. that grace you as a queen. So let's see what the moon has to say for herself. How will Cancer be affected by the October 31st, 2020 full moon? How will Cancer be affected by the October 31st, 2020 full moon? How will Cancer be affected by the October 31st, 2020 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. How will Cancer be affected by the October 31st, 2020 full moon? How will Cancer be affected by the October 31st, 2020 full moon? How will Cancer be affected by the October 31st, 2020 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Ooh, goodness. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Fantastic. Okay. So let's see here. We have discernment right over justice. Oh, that is so funny. I love it. And it opens up the new path. Oh, most definitely. And it calls us to action. Oh my gosh. The moon is so in alignment with what the tarot is saying. Oh, I love it. Oh, that's exciting. Resilience. Resilience, but also resistance. Okay, there's a resistance around us, but we're still growing. We're still going. That's resilience. That's beautiful. Communication is key. A fiery climax approaches. Okay, so when you're calling things into balance, you might get a little fiery, a little tempers might fly. So just be aware of that, or a little bit more passionate, a little bit stubborn about things. No, passionate, fiery. It's like your voice will rise and you'll use your hands, and it's like there's this passion to you, and that's brilliant. I like that. Hold your vision. It's time to release negativity. Meditate and contemplate. Oh, as you connect with your ancestors, as you connect with your angels and your spirit guides. Okay. So I'm excited about this moon for you guys because it is such a powerful change that we are seeing here. It's such a power that you're moving forward in. And for you, Cancer, that's brilliant. Actually, for anybody, that's absolutely brilliant. But I love it for you guys because you guys have such a beautiful heart to you. So we have discernment as you learn, as you study, as you take in new ideas and ideals and ideologies, and you're looking at things and you're taking things in and you're embracing. And there's like, I see this clock around you, and it's like you're coming into your time. And as you do so, justice comes and you become discerning about the energy that you let in, discerning about the people that you let in. It's not, being discriminatory or anything like that. It's just like if somebody's energy really does not mesh with yours, why would you be there? What are you focusing on? What are you focusing towards? And it's being discerning with the power that is growing you. And it leads you to this new path. It leads you going up, and it's a bit scary because you're like, oh my goodness, that's a crickety ladder and that's a giant hole in the sky. Sounds great. Will I even land on the earth, or is that an illusion? So as you're embracing the essence of yourself, as you're stepping through that portal, you're not sure what you will find. And that's okay. Take that leap. Take that leap on you, because it moves you to action. It moves you to a change that is really quite inspiring. It's like, it's that brilliance. It's that brilliance of release. And it has you here, okay? It has you embracing, it has you moving past resistance that was trying to, stop you in its fist, right? And you're still growing. You're still growing. It is your nature to grow. It is your nature to become. It is your nature to evolve. And it's embracing the prosperity. It's embracing the blessings. It's embracing your heart's truth. And it's moving you to patience, okay? And it's moving you to sweetness coming. Communication is key. As you move forward, as you see and you express, like, what do I want to plant within my life? What do I desire? What do I want? What do I need? Where do I stand? What do I stand for? What is it that guides me forward? It's communicating with yourself as the knight, moving forward in prosperity. And a fiery climax approaches. There's something here where you're pulled too thin. There's too many people, kind of grabbing at you. And it's like, no, stop. You're also going to find that the Gemini full moon is very, very intense for you on November 30th. Hold your vision. Hold your vision as you embrace your passion and as you move from doubts and fears in the healing, beautiful waters of prosperity and of your truth. Hold your vision. It's time to release negativity as your prosperity shines down on you. Because if the negativity is there too great, you will not see the prosperity. And also, this is a very strong link to the Scorpio new moon on the 15th of November. This moves you to meditation, to meditate and contemplate as you connect with your angels, as you break out of that box, and as you embrace your power. I love it. Your subconscious tarot message for this time is the Nine of Pentacles. It's time to really bask in the glory of your hard work, of the prosperity that's coming forward. Is there hard work to come? Yes, there is. But have you done a really great job? Yes, you have. Yes, you have. And people definitely see it. There's a radiance to you. Your subconscious moon message is balance. And the full moon in Virgo. You're good enough. The balance of justice, the balance of discernment, the balance of what you need to build within your life, and the message of you are good enough. It doesn't mean you're where you want to be. It doesn't mean you stop trying. It means that you know that at this very moment you are not created by accident, that you have tools within you and around you to cultivate, to utilize, to move you forward to something greater, to something more. You are good enough. And if you're like me, when I first heard this, oh my gosh, I raged against it. I was like, no, I am not. I am not. But you know what? If you don't think you're good enough in the moment, if you're always going to be good enough when you achieve something more, when you push harder, when you go this, when you do that, you'll never get there. You'll always push the bar out. There's something with being proud of where you stand right now. And it's being proud of who you are. And the tomorrow, but more importantly, the today that you have. And you are good enough. Picture yourself. I love the idea of I love the power of picturing a crown, okay? So have this beautiful velvet box put before you. Have it opened. And take your crown. Reach for that crown. What crown appears? Is it, is it over the top and just brilliant and glittery and shiny and, made out of diamonds or Swarovski crystals and just like, oh my gosh. Is it more demure? Is it more subtle? What is your crown? And then reach for it and place it upon your head. Can you? Can you? Or is it like you go for it and you're like, oh no, it's too pretty. I'll save it for special. Why can't every day be a crown day? Why cannot you wake up every morning and put on your crown? Every night, take it off as you go to sleep so that it can be put on again. Or sleep with it on if you want to. Is your crown tarnished? Is it broken? What is it that you need to do to step into the power of your truth and of your blessings? All right, Cancer. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we step forward in our majesty, as we heal, as we develop, as we become, as darkness and light come together to bring us the luminance of the moon, to bring us this absolute spotlight of our existence. You are stepping into power and grace, Cancer, and absolutely guided by divinity, by spirit, by your angels, by your ancestors. There is something big on the horizon. Embrace it. So let's take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Cancer.